Good morning, race fans, and welcome to Today at the Races at Laurel Park. I'm Tim Tulloch. I'm joined by Keith Fusel on this stunning, really pretty nice spring morning, or quite close to spring. Keith, how you been?
We're gutting there. I'm doing well. Good to see you back here,
Thank
ready
you.
to rock and roll on this Saturday card, Stakes-filled card at Laurel Park. I'm doing good, though. Had to deal with the day off yesterday, obviously. We're dealing with some things here at Laurel, but, hey, we battle through, and looking forward to the day's card.
Yeah, I am too. First of all, let's just go with yesterday's cancellation. A lot of misinformation out there with the EHV1. We did have one horse on the grounds who did get sick, was removed from the grounds immediately, is recovering at the clinic. We've had no other sick horses. But just like COVID, there's some contact tracing, so we felt that we should quarantine a few more barns. Hence, we lost yesterday's card. But a big shout-out to Jillian Tulloch, Trish Bowman, and everyone in the racing office, our horsemen. They were able to put together a nice card. Good Samaritan Stake Day with 5 stakes this afternoon. So a big shout-out to everybody involved. And on this big stake day, we have a new promo from First Bet. We'll take a quick look at that. The Good Samaritan Stakes Day money back special. Get your cash back up to $10 each time your horse finishes second or third at Laurel Park on Saturday, March 13th. That's at first.com bet/promotions. Go ahead and check that out, and we'll remind you of that a couple more times today. Also, because of the cancellation yesterday, Friday, the Stronach 5 was pushed forward to next Friday, but worth the wait. Big carryover, Keith.
Oh, yeah, $154 to get you started, basically $155,000. Yeah, upwards of, I would say, $500,600,000 is well within the realm of possibilities for that carryover, or for that pool, that final pool there. So, yeah, get started early. We'll have those PPs, right? We draw Sunday for Friday, so plenty of time to get yourself started, especially on the Laurel races, whatever we're going to have involved in that Stronach 5. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
Also, we'll look forward to the Rainbow Pick 6 this afternoon. A little bit of a carryover, $10,762. That gets started in race 4. Naomi Tucker will have a ticket for that. And also, it's Saturday, so that means it's a Beat the Expert day, and you're getting off easy this week because you have to beat me. And Naomi tells me, Keith, you're the only one that hasn't been beaten.
Yeah. You know, that happens sometimes. When you're good, I guess you're good. No, that's called a little bit lucky. I caught some people, I guess, on a bad day. I wasn't lighting up the world by any stretch of the imagination. But, yeah, I'm sure the fans will be ready to roll today, try to take you down.
I think so. I think there's some opportunities today. I think there's some races that look a little straightforward, but there's some opportunities for sure. So beat the expert, try to win some prizes, and today I am the expert. Starting tomorrow, new post time. Yay, Keith. What does that mean? Clocks forward tonight, spring forward. We always like that. So starting tomorrow, first race post will be at 12:40. Remember to move your clocks forward this evening, and join us tomorrow for first race post at 12:40. Keith, we talked about the weather, and wow, we're coming off the heels of an incredible week, but still pretty nice today.
Yeah, I mean, temperatures definitely dropped. But hey, we're 50. We'll take this time of year. Sunny as can be. I mean, there's definite warmth out there. You kind of tell the difference now, right? As we get a little bit towards mid-March, heading towards April, things heat up quite a bit. So look, even the turf course greening up a little bit. Definitely stark difference than you saw from maybe a week or 10 days ago.
For sure, the sun's starting to shine. The main track, I've been out there every morning this week, and the main track is in incredible condition, and very, very good condition. We'll have a fast main track this afternoon. That takes care of all the housekeeping, Keith. We've got a lot to get to, so let's get started. We're going to start in race 1. That kicks off the early pick 5. Races a 1 through 5, 50-cent minimum, 12% industry low, takeout mandatory payout in the early pick 5. And race 1 is for fillies and mares 4 and up, which have never won 2 races, claiming price $16,000. Keith, you have the 1, Walk It Out Nanny, on top. I have the 6, Imagine Victory, on top. And we're going to take a look at a video from their last race on February 21st, and we're going to get to see both of them.
Absolutely. Walk It Out Nanny was able to kind of walk it a little bit up front, but on the 21st. The inside, not really the greatest part of the racetrack. On the lead is Walking Out Annie. Imagine Victory. You see that that one there, the 6 horse this particular day, in the purple silks, purple cap. A little bit of traffic. Just kind of gets held up in between horses. Leaving the far turn is eventually going to make her way to the outside. Now, she does range up, get to the better part of the racetrack at about the quarter pole here, and she makes that challenge for the lead. Is going to be denied by Award Wanted through the final 16th of a mile. You see Walking Out Annie kind of drift a little bit off the inside. It only gets beat 3 3/4 when it's all said and done. These two look like the clear two. I know Car Lady wants to mile underneath the extra distance. Certainly, it looks like it might help her. But, man, she just doesn't have any speed. We'll see if she can pick up the pieces. I think Walk It Out Nanny, drawing inside, a mile underneath the 2-turn. I'm assuming the rail's going to be a little bit better than it was that afternoon. Just to give you a little bit better, maybe a slight upset shot to dictate the pace. 6 is going to be awfully tough in here, though.
Certainly, and as you pointed out, Imagine Victory just kind of got held up there around the 5/16 pole, but the inside draw by Walk It Out Nanny, going a mile and eighth, yet another race going a mile and eighth, and I love these races going a mile and eighth, so we will look forward to race 1. 1-6 for Keith, 6-1 for myself, and we see the opener pretty much the same way. Race 2 is for 3-year-old fillies, claiming price $25,000, going 6.5 furlongs. Kicks off the Super High 5 this afternoon. Every race with 7 or more horses in the race. Super High 5 wagering is available. No carryover from last Sunday. Also kicks off the early pick 4. And Keith,
yeah,
you have a ticket, and woo, I'm going to have to dig deep on this ticket.
Well, this way you just keep, as my boy Mike Ansell used to say up in New Jersey, just punch it till your finger breaks, right? Just keep hitting it. $4, yeah, just something. I looked at a couple of different pick 4s here throughout the day. I think this one is a fun little one. I'm going to try to upset a favorite or two, and maybe we can hit for $70, $80 or so, and then turn that money the rest of the way. 3-5 to get you started. Keep your skates on. Sick Pack Sarah. Race 3, the 3 and the 4. I'm going to try to beat Street Load here at the mile. Journey to the Moon, I like in there. She's going to come down off that 12. I got a little too high, but you got, ton of plays going to come in on the 2 and the 3, and obviously Amos. So I still think she's going to hold value in the 3rd, Tim. Race 4. Too deep again. Key Scratches, the 1. Cookies and Cream, and Sally's Mustang, who was going to be my top selection. Both out. Okay, I'm going to go with the 4 and the 5. Wrap it up where she told me to go. Going to be in that 3 to 5, 2 to 5 range in the Not for Love. He looks like he should stalk and pounce in there, freshened and ready to go.
Everyone will be able to afford Keith's Fusel's early pick 4 ticket this afternoon. Race 2, as we mentioned, claiming $25,000 3-year-old fillies, 6.5 furlongs. Keith, you have the 5 6-pack Sarah on top for John Salzman, trying winners for the first time, but you've come up with yet another stat.
Yeah, we've got a stat for this one. The last 3 years, 5 for 17 is Salzman Jr., 29%, 9 for 17 the money. 3-year-old dirt sprinters off of this type of layoff, 31 to 60-day layoff. Look at the ROI, 529. Not a super fast race at 6.5 last time, but it was on a little bit of a drop. Second time Lasix and off of a troubled trip. Yeah, there is some speed in here. But did we use a video of her or not?
No video.
No video. But,
no
okay,
video.
Going back to that race, and it caught my eye how easily she was kind of able to go right to the front, control things effortlessly. She really finished up well, eagerly through the wire the last 16th of a mile. She's back at 6.5. Yeah, some challenges from Golden Moonshine, but I think even she's got the possibility to sit just off of it if need be. This barn is rocking and rolling right now. I'll come right back with 6-pack Sarah because the favorite, keep your skates on. I have a little bit of a negative stat here for Dale. She is going to be, I think, your favorite, but he's 1 for 12 with 3-year-old claimers on the dirt, coming off of a maiden win the last few years. 7 for 12 in the money, so you got to think she's going to be around it. She gets a setup with some speed, but 6-pack Sarah. I visually, I like the way she rolled home last time out.
And not my favorite move, taking a first time against winners this afternoon, getting Fergal Lynch for Dale Capuano, but I'm going to stay with keep your skates on in race 2. Let's move on to race 3, and we're going to get going with our stakes action this afternoon. It's the Beyond the Wire, going a mile for 3-year-old fillies. And we are going to start with the 4, Journey to the Moon. This is your top pick for Mike Trombetta. Julian Pimentel gets the call, and we're going to look at Journey to the Moon's last race, which, wow, Keith, very, very impressive.
Yeah, a little bobble out of the gate. I'd seen we're going to run an interview, I think, with Mike. I don't know what happened in that second outing here. There's the break, a little bobble. Really didn't cost her a ton, but can certainly throw horses off kilter when they do that. The debut, eye-catching to me, beating a decent horse in Little Hunters. I know she got beat by Street Loot, but the way she did it with something in reserve, I liked. And she won first time out by a stallion Tour. She's by Tours. They haven't been winning first out at all, and I like that when they kind of buck the trend. Watch her here, though. Going a little bit of a slower pace, nothing too demanding, and the leader was clear early. But Pimentel, just easy. Got her to relax inside. She shifts out to about the 5 path, turning for home, and watch this. I mean, he's really not moving much at all on her. She's going to widen and do it easily, okay, by about 5. A jump up in the buyer. Mike, I think, likes this filly. I think she come back. She's worked well moving into it. Yeah, she doesn't have that gaudy 82 buyer, Street Loot or Fraudulent Charge, but she's showing me some talent. She's doing it within herself. I think she's dangerous, and you're going to still get an okay price. Will she be 12? She may be down to 6 or 8, 7 or 8 maybe. But I like her right back.
A winner going a mile in that last start. She looked really good doing it across the ground in that race on January 29th. So, yes, could be some value with Journey to the Moon. Where there won't be value is with the 2, Street Loot, and possibly the 3, Fraudulent Charge. We're going to take a look at their video from their race in the Wide Country on February 20th.
Yeah, I mean, this is a race where on the 20th, they both were kind of in okay spots around the racetrack. Street Loot, boy, she rated ever so kindly. They were cutting it up pretty good up front, right, 44-4, and she just makes that pouncing move, and she's just dead game. She's all racehorse, Street Loot. I mean, if you don't like this filly, you don't have a heart, right? She is just awesome. Fraudulent Charge. She's getting closer every step. She gets beat. I know she gets beat a length. She's charging. She's getting first Lasix now. You look at it at the mile distance. Will Street Loot be able to kind of stretch it out a little bit further? That's the million-dollar question. But I worry, Tim, sometimes with horses like this. And I'm saying love her. But, reading into things, do they really want to slow it down a little bit? Maybe she doesn't want the lead. Sometimes when quicker horses like this, and you'll see it, they try to slow them up a little bit. They hit the top of the stretch in these longer races. They come up a little flat. They just don't seem to accelerate like they should. She may be different. She may be able to, overcome that. But that's why I kind of like Journey to the Moon, just proven to me at this distance with that kind of race flow.
Yeah, and that is the question with Street Loot. I mean, clearly she has an explosive move while sprinting. There's no doubt about that. Now we're going to stretch out to a mile. She's got the natural speed to just kind of go to the front. And whether she can carry that speed and stay all the way to that second wire, or if she does lay, can she still come up with that explosive move that we see in the sprint? So one other thing I would point out about Street Loop is while she's 3 for 3 going 7/8 of a mile, those are the only 3 races that she's given up ground in the stretch to the horse that eventually ran second. So that's certainly another concern. I have the 5 Littlelicious on top for Tom Amos. Sheldon Russell gets the call. I thought that race in the Rachel Alexander was a little bit better than the 7-length beat, and certainly cut out to get the mile.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. She comes back on Lasix this afternoon. Obviously, doesn't look like Amos is just going to send her up for a little joyride right up here. She draws. Maybe she's the one, maybe Sheldon will get aggressive and try to put her on the front end. But I'm just going to stick to my guns here, look for a little bit of a price. Fraudulent Charge, you can't take anything away from her. Bucky's Charm is run well. Street Loot, she's Street Loot. She's good. I mean, it's not like I'm really rooting against her, from a betting proposition. I like the value that I'm getting in this 4-horse this afternoon.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way. I'll be happy to be wrong there. I love this filly. She is pure a racehorse. She's a neck shy of being perfect. So definitely some respect for Street Loot in the Beyond the Wire. Race 4 is a maiden $10,000 event. It kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6. Nice carryover, $10,762. Naomi Tucker put us together a ticket, and let's check out how Naomi played it, Keith. She goes 2 deep In race 4, she uses the 4 and the 5. Her single comes in race 5. She's going to single on Where She Told Me to Go. That's exactly who you singled on in your early pick 4. I'm correct, right, with that?
Yep.
Yep, I am. Deep in race 6, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
6 and 8 in race 7. 2, 5, 7 in race 8. Race 9, 3, 4, 5. $36 ticket. A nice carryover, a nice affordable ticket. You can check out Naomi's ticket, Keith's ticket, and all our tickets at laurelpark.com. Just click on the handicap section. Race 4, a maiden $10,000 event for maiden 3-year-old fillies, going 5.5 furlongs. And Keith, you have the 5 on top. Joyce G, a first-time starter for Hugh McMahon, well entered for debut, and why not?
Yeah, I mean, this is a race where when you do your selections in the morning and then you call in for scratches and they scratch your top 2 selections, you know you're in trouble, right? So they take out the 1, they take out the 7. Thank you very much. I default to the 5, Joyce G. My mom's name is Joyce, right? So there you go. There's my hunch play. But no, Ruby Rubles, the bottom side, mare was good, 12 for 36, won a lot of races. All 8 foals are winners. I like that. That's enough for me. The other ones haven't shown me enough. Obviously, Brittany Russell with the first, or that angle's tough as well with the first foal here by Shackelford.
Yeah, and that was my default, too. I had the 1 Cookies and Cream on top who scratched, as you mentioned. The 7 Sally's Mustang is out, and I defaulted to Bobini. To Glory March. For Brittany Russell. Keith and I pretty much the same in race 4. It's time for us to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be back and we'll take a look at the second half of our card.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground on her inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Today at the Races. Tim Tulloch joined by Keith Fustel. Want to give you another quick reminder of our first bet, a promotion this afternoon, our Good Samaritan Day Stakes Money Back Special. Get your cash back up to $10 each time your horse finishes second or third at Laurel Park on Saturday, today, March 13th. Just go to first.com/bet promotions and get involved at First Bet this afternoon on our nice Saturday card. Race 5 is yet another stake for state-bred 4-year-olds and upwards, going 3/4 of a mile. The Not for Love, also the late pick 5, starts here in race 5. No carryover from last Sunday. Keith, we're going to start with both our top picks here. The 2, Where She Told Me to Go. Brittany Russell, Sheldon Russell rides, winner of 3 stakes in a row with some big figures, and we're going to take a look at the Dave's Friend from December 26th.
Yeah, its most recent outing, a little bit of a break here for Where She Told Me to Go. This horse has transitioned into the barn of Brittany Russell, really hasn't missed a beat. You could say maybe he's improved a touch. I tell you, he's running quite well. So a horse settles this day is to be able to kind of go 3 or 4 wide and just kind of grind it out, a little surge here to get up and win, over some good horses. Taco Supreme, Bacon Power,
Sure.
you go through the line, Lakai. So, he's met the right kind. He's just proven it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about a little bit of a freshing. You see the workouts coming into this. This is his race to lose. He should be able to get a good stalking position. Speed of Stroll Smoke and the speed of Karen's Notion, even Day the Music Died. They'll be setting things up. Horses in here, they just don't have the finish of Where She Told Me to Go.
No doubt about that, and that was a big race in the Dave's Friend. Comes in here with some good, solid work. Brittany very good off this type of layup, about 19%. You mentioned the 1, Stroll Smoking. For John Robb, winless this year, but in very, very good form. And this one's going straight to the front from the fence.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be sent, and he's shown that he can handle pressure. He's going to battle you. His main pace rival, obviously, we know Karen's Notion. Karen's Notion's been busy. Little fade last time, disappointing race, but he's going to have to come back and work hard again if he's going to be able to upset this field. If you're kind of maybe looking for that other maybe shot horse, maybe it's Carry Times, who's going to be able to just drop down to the inside, I think, save ground and just make one little run to try to pick up a piece. I don't think he's going to beat the 2, but maybe he's that price horse underneath that you can get and kind of bump up that exact a little bit.
Yeah, speaking of Karen's notion, look, this is a nice gelding, but as the races get tougher, the horses get faster, and I just feel like Karen's notion is going to have to figure out a different way, a different strategy to run his races, because when they're going up fast up front, really fast, and he's getting pressure, it just doesn't work for him. Nice, talented horse, but may have to change his running style a little bit and come up with some more finish. But interesting race here in race 5. Both Keith and I have Where She Told Me to Go. And right quick, we did catch up with Brittany Russell, and we have a little sound from Brittany on Where She Told Me to Go.
He had run 3 good races for us. He had run some big numbers, and it just seemed like a good time to freshen him up. You know, the weather, we struggled with weather here at the beginning of the year, which we usually do. And I just, you know, it didn't pressure me into working him on bad racetracks, things like that. So we just freshened him up, and this race just looked like a good place to get his year started. He just likes to race. You know, actually freshening him up, he's kind of been telling me here lately he's ready to, you know, walk over there and race. You know, he's happy, but I think he's happier when he's, you know, he's racing. He's, you know, I expect we see a different horse after he runs on Saturday in the barn, just because I think he gets bored. He's ready to do something. He does have versatility. He'll sit, he'll make a run. He's, you know, he's a neat horse. Wherever he ends up, he'll be running at the end.
A few words from Brittany Russell on Where She Told Me to Go. Horse coming off a little bit of layoff, but she certainly sounds very optimistic.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, he's telling them, right. They probably didn't really want to kind of give him a little break, but the weather, it's
Sure.
dicey. So, I mean, how old is he now? Is he?
He's 5 or 6.
He's 6. Yeah, so a little fresh ain't going to do him so good. He's come back,
Absolutely.
obviously, showing he's sharp, which might put him even a little bit closer to the lead today.
It does them all some good. Where She Told Me to Go in race 5. Race 6, Harrison E. Johnson going a mile and an eighth for 4-year-olds and up, purse $100,000. Keith, both you and I see this race pretty much the same, at least on top. You and I both have the 5 Galerio on top for Dale Bennett. Xavier Perez gets the call.
Yeah.
Also, we have a video of Galerio and Cordmaker from their last start in the John B. Campbell on February 20th.
Yeah, I mean, this race is separated, you know, not by too much. I mean, this race is, you know, wide was good, so I don't know exactly what to make it from some of these trips because you wanted to kind of be out there, and most of them had good trips. The one thing with Galerio, Tim, is that he has yet to really kind of quote-unquote bounce. He just runs his race time and time again. Cordmaker's had a little bit of trouble. He really didn't have any trouble here. He had a good trip. It just got beat. I think the fans are going to come in. This is going to be very close favoritism. Would not be surprised me if Galerio is the favorite over Cordmaker. I think he's just a horse that can run fairly quick up close, bring that finish, and is going to fight you. So Galerio, I think, is going to be tough to kind of deny in here. I think he's 1-2-1.
And he's coming off 2 good races. He ran a lifetime best in that last start, running behind Bankett. Bankett, Steve Asmussen horse, who was the favorite, and he made Bankett run all the way down to the wire there. So certainly I like Galerio here. You know, Cordmaker just hasn't put it all together over the past year. Maybe today's his day. He just keeps hanging around, gets some pieces. I expect the same today.
Yeah.
The 7, Plot the Dots for Mike Trombetta, stepping into stakes company for the first time on the main track. Big win at the 2 other than allowance condition in his last start with a big number. And Naomi Tucker was able to catch up with Mike Trombetta to talk about Plot the Dots.
I hope he moves forward and doesn't bounce. You know, he's yet another one that doesn't, there's not a lot of other opportunities for him. So the plan is, you know, to give him another try. We'll see if he can handle this bunch. It is a mile and an eighth, which he should like. The only time he hasn't really run his best race this season is when it was really, really sloppy. But other than that, he's just been a gem of consistency. So we'll give him one more shot at these kind of horses and see how he does. He likes to have a little bit of a target, but he's a handy kind of horse. And yet again, Julian gets along with him very well, and he'll run however he needs him to. He's a big, strong horse, and he likes to train, and he's a high-energy kind of guy, so he kind of takes care of himself.
Plot the Dots taking on Stakes Company for the first time. Julian Pimentel will ride. Keith, I just want to touch on a couple horses real quickly.
Okay.
The Four Tattooed, who just seems to be getting a little bit better right now. Steady improvement over his last 3.
Yeah, I mean, my only question for him is going back out to the mile and eighth, and you're not going to get that value that you've gotten off him. But I'm reading some of the press with Tim. He's got that run. You've got to time that run, and he's proven himself against these horses. Even had trouble 3 races back at this distance against a similar group. So he's holding very, very good form for Tim Keefe. It's just this race is tricky, Tim. I don't know how to really envision it. I think what's going to happen, I think JD's just going to dead send Saratoga Jack from the outside. I think that's the only chance he's got. Reading that Rodney said maybe Cordmaker wants to be a little closer, keep him involved, keep his attention there into the race. So maybe you might see a little change of tactics from him with Carrasco to be a little bit more involved early. So very good horse race. This one and the next one, very tough to separate. Even a horse like Dixie Draw, who you have
Dixie
second.
Draw.
Is he on that pattern now? You see a 92, an 83, and 93 now drop. He had to be used a little bit hard from the gate last time. I watched that race. He didn't come out. He came out a little flat-footed, and he got sent hard and to a pretty good pace. Maybe that's what kind of took the starch out of him late.
Yeah, when I looked at it, that's exactly what I thought. They were rolling right along, 11-1 for 3 quarters. 42 flat, mile and 16th. Now he stretched back out to a mile and 1/8, where he's 2 for 3 going a mile and 1/8. The pace scenario changes a little bit. He won't be rushed off his feet. I think Dixie Draw, second time in stakes. It might be okay here.
Yeah, I probably should have him in the Plot the Dots flipped from an odds standpoint, but Plot the Dots is intriguing. I mean, he's a horse that's kind of doing what he needs to do. I know he looks like the type that's going to run kind of all day at a clip. Is it just fast enough? And, has he hit his top? That remains to be seen. But it's a good horse race. I mean, forewarned. I mean, there's prices in here that I can't completely dismiss. I don't know who I'd be shy if a horse wins. If the one won it. Other than that, even Saratoga Jack, he ran tremendous last time. If you go back and watch that effort, he didn't. He was not supposed to hold on as well as he did, and he's got dangerous speed against this group.
Well, the renewal of the Harrison Johnson going a mile and 1/8, $100,000 stake is certainly a good, intriguing race, and we'll be looking forward to race 6 this afternoon, which kicks off the late pick for race 7, the Conover, 4 fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, state bred, going 7/8 of a mile. Keith, both you and I have the 8th. Actually, I have the 6 on top, Kiss the Girl, but you have the 8, Deep Red on top for Damon Ludovico. Steps into Stakes Company for the first time, but in very, very good recent form. And we're going to take a look at her race from January 29th, picking up about the quarter pole.
Yeah, I mean, this particular day on the 29th, settled back nicely, was able to save ground every step of the way. Great ride here by Sheldon, who's going to work to the outside. And I like even a little bit of traffic there, has to work her way out. But it runs down kind of a loose leader. 6, is she a little bit better at 6 than she is 7? Maybe. I mean, but she might just be hitting the top, of her form cycle. And looking at that, I think she can pair up. Looking at the speed of this race, the first, I think, quarter of a mile, if she can save just a little bit of ground. I'm not saying she has to drop completely in, but kind of just stay within touch and not get hung out too much. I think she can grind it out against this group. This is another tricky flow to figure. Whispering Pines, I guess, is your speed. Maybe a horse like Artful Splatter, who seems a little bit better on and off track, but I think this race is really difficult. Kiss the Girl's race last time and looking at some other handicapping tools was good. Okay, that number came back good. Final quarter wasn't anything great, but she's got that kind of middle move at 7/8 that might put her over the top here. Trombetta with another
1-for-1 going 7/8. Kiss the Girl ran behind a nice horse in Gale, but going back to Deep Red, we were able to catch up with Damon Ludovico, and this is what he had to say about Deep Red.
We had her going pretty good in 19. We won a race mid-year, and then we had a hard time finding a race for her for a few months. Ended up with a soft tissue injury, so we decided to give her the rest of that year off. And really, other than her first start back in 20, she's been very solid for us. She definitely gets competitive when bounced a little, I guess. Was fortunate that Sheldon found us, a ground-saving route. We've been giving up a lot of ground with her in a couple of the previous races. We decided to give a shot to Sheldon. First race, we kind of, he was like feeling her out a little bit, I guess, and was much better second time around. We do have a little bit of pace if we have to use it, stretching out a little bit. Maybe we can have her a little bit closer. As far as saving ground from out there, it might be more of an effort to try to do that than what it's worth in the end. Sheldon's just going to have to use his head and give us a good trip.
Well, Deep Red, would be nice for her to get a stakes win. She's been a quality filly, 6-time winner, earner of about $315,000. So a stakes win on her resume would certainly help her in Conover this afternoon. Let's move on to race 8, the last of our stake races on Good Samaritan Stake Day, and it's a private terms going a mile and a 16th. Keith, you have the 5 on top, Royal Number for Mike Trombetta. Julian Pimentel gets the call, took a big step out of that A other than win into that graded stake up in New York. Only got beat 9 lengths while running 4, so it wasn't a terrible effort. But we're going to go back and look at his January 9th race right here at Laurel Park.
Yeah, I mean, similar, a little bit of a running style, right, as Journey to the Moon. And Pimentel just gets along with this horse quite well. It was able to settle and just kind of get into a rhythm. Really doesn't have to fight any traffic. A couple races back did on a race. What was that? November 22nd race had a little bit of traffic there, but look at this. Just right through along the rail and just kind of cruises clear. Shackle Love at 4-5 in the dust here. Royal Number is going to go ahead and widen. That was back on the Lasix. No Lasix New York, back to the Lasix today. We'll see if that makes a difference. But, man, this guy's he's just out for a stroll this particular afternoon. Yeah, and they thought he had a shot in the Withers. I thought he had a shot. He was laying in good position. This horse is just a little, maybe slightly a cut above. Not saying that he can't catch up with him down the road, but I like the fact, that he's got, you saw that tactical speed that he had. And I think in 2 turns, he likes it. He's proven. He's got speed to target. And 2, may the horse be with you. You got a horse coming in like Zerts with blinkers on last time. I think might be a little bit more aggressive. I think the flow is going to be just right for him, and he's going to bring you a nice race, a good finish from the quarter pole home.
Yeah, a little drift by Royal Number in that race down to the wire, but he was out there by himself. I have the 2, may the horse be with you, on top, coming off a really dominant performance. Look, he draws inside, going a mile and 16th. I can't imagine that Sheldon Russell doesn't try to take advantage of that. But we were able to speak with Brittany Russell about May the Horse Be With You.
He seems to have a lot of energy. He's trained well, right out of that last run. So we see no reason not to come right back in 3 weeks. Naturally, you like to give horses more time when they are running in these better type races, but he seems ready to go. Yeah, he has to go with the pony. You kind of just keep him moving, get him going. He just likes to train. He just likes miles. He likes to, skip around here, do his happy little gallop. And, if he does that, he's really easy to deal with. You'd like to hope, but at the same time, too, I think just going race to race is the way to handle a horse like this. He's in good form right now, and he answered the last question. We see what happens tomorrow and, make a decision from there.
Well, the Russells could be up for a big day this afternoon. They have live chances in 2 or 3 races anyway. Quickly, let's touch on the 7, Shack Queen King for Gary Capuano. Certainly think he gets in amongst his friends this afternoon.
Yeah, I think he might still be even a little bit better at a route of ground. He was just kind of even in that sprint 2 races back, coming back to his home track. They put the mile work into him. The Lasix goes on. Shorterfield, I think he's definitely got more positional speed than the 6, Accelerate, maybe even Royal Number. I think he gets position early on and is going to bring a better finish here at the mile 16. Take nothing away from the 2 horse. I love the progression, what they've done with this horse, with the distances, and he's answered the bell. I was a little surprised, though, to see him clear that field last time. 2 races back, he's in that battle up front with a horse like Kenny Adams. He was able to kind of clear. It was over. After a quarter of a mile, the 24 went up. You knew it was done. So I think the key for him, can he just get the right kind of flow? He's a stayer anyhow. Even if he runs a little quick, and this horse is not a quitter. I mean, he's going to fight you. I'm just thinking that maybe there's enough to take a little starch out of him, which is going to help that finish for the 5 Royal Number. May the horse be with you. I'd like to own him. I'll take him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Another very interesting race in the private terms. Race 8. We'll take a quick look at race 9 for 4-year-olds and up. Started for claim price of $25,000 or less. Never won 2. Or claiming price $32,000. Going 5.5 furlongs. And Keith, we'll get to it. We'll come back to it there, Eric. But we'll start with the 5 push to start. Blinkers go on, and he gets back to a distance of his lifetime best.
Yeah, this is the key. I think he's the speed of the speed. Man, I don't know what happened last time, but the blinker's on. Maybe that's going to alleviate the drifting and everything like that. Keep him focused. I think if he does clear and keeps his mind on his business, I think he can win the nightcap here. I probably should have had him favorite when I look back at it. Zenpai, he's had a race since that 17th push to start, maybe a little advantage. But Zenpai, if you can dismiss the last, he's right there. He's going to get that stalk and pounce kind of trip.
I think he can toss the last. He didn't get away well. The unfortunate thing about Zenpai is he's had a few races where he hasn't gotten away well. But, boy, if he can run back to those races from November 10th and December 19th, December 10th, excuse me, those would be good enough this afternoon.
Absolutely.
A couple works off a little bit of freshening by Dale Capuano, which he hits at about 24%. Well, the perfect show went out the window there, Keith. I did miss one quick want to hit the first bet promo one more time.
There we go.
Good Samaritan Stakes Day money back special. Get your cash back up to $10 each time one of your horses finishes second or third right here this afternoon at Laurel Park. Just go to first.com/bet promotions and get involved with that. Well, Keith, get tied on. We're going to try a new feature here this afternoon. I'll throw the things out. I'm going to get your quick opinion. This is the lightning round here at Laurel Park. And we are going to start with the jockey standings here this afternoon. And look at Alexander Crispin is up 33-25 here at Laurel Park. But Alexander Crispin's out for the meet. He's gone. We won't see him until the spring meet here at Laurel Park. Does Sheldon Russell catch him?
I say yes. I think he edges by late. Yes. Eight victories. When's the last day of the meet?
The 28th.
Yes.
Yes.
He does. Okay.
Claudio Gonzalez, 28-15 over Mike Trombetta. Now, no fault of his own. Claudio may be out for another 10 or 12 days. He's involved in the quarantine. He's 28-15. Does anyone catch Claudio anyway?
I think he lasts the final 16th of a mile. Yes.
I agree. As we talked about, the Stronach 5 got postponed to next Friday, the March 19th. Big carryover, Keith. What's your thoughts on that?
Huge. I think it's going to be right around 500,000 to 600,000, and you're going to be the one that gives out a winning ticket because that is your bet.
It has been lately. I'm going to be coming off the layoff, so I have to. Get my pencil sharpened and get a little sharp there. Street Loop, can she extend her win streak this afternoon?
Oh, man, this is a bad spot to be in. My car's out there parked. I don't want my tires slashed or anything. I say she gets beat today. I don't. But trust me, my heart of hearts. I'm rooting for her.
That's a tough thing. My
don't
heart's
put me in
with
that
her.
spot.
It's
don't.
a big ask.
Don't. Yeah.
It's not a big ask. It's just a big question.
Okay.
It's just a big question.
All right.
Preakness heroine Swiss Skydiver returns to the races today at San Diego Park in the Grade 1 Beholder. She draws the rail.
Yes.
Going a mile. Does she get it done with a triumphant return?
This is tough. Man. I say no. Say she runs second. I'm saying she runs. I have them, watch a video of that horse that Baffert's got, out of Take Charge Lady.
Yes.
She's had recency over it, and granted, I know she didn't beat me. Man, she got her act together, came out of the gate, but she looks awfully good. I can tell you that.
Well, she's awfully bred, right?
Yeah, she
American
is.
Pharaoh out of Take Charge Lady.
Yeah.
It doesn't get a whole lot better than that. So, I'm kind of leaning toward that also, although I hope Swiss Skydiver does run very well. And another one of those deals, if she wins, everyone will be happy. Look, we're 5 weeks to the Tessio, 9 weeks to the Preakness. got to be feeling good about that.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Right, the weather, just keep it going. Let's get the heat coming in here. The racing's going to get better. The turf course right around the corner. So I'm looking for a strong finish of this meet and right into the spring.
After
Absolutely.
a rough 2020 where we lost a couple months of racing, we lost some racing this winter during the bad weather, and now we're in the midst of dealing with the EHV1. Although I think I'm optimistic. I think we're gonna come out of that pretty quickly and pretty well. All right, Keith, finish it up.
What we got?
Tomorrow's top story today.
I was talking to him earlier. I got a little heads up on it. J-Lo spotted in the Laurel press box after the breakup with A-Rod. No, we've got I'll say Tromby. Tromby wins 3 today. Yeah, Journey to the Moon pulls a slight upset, and Tromby wins 3. There you go.
I might be hanging around the press box today and see if J-Lo actually shows up.
There
Keith,
you go.
that's going to do it for us.
All right.
That was a fun show. We've got a big day coming up. We've got Dave Rodman coming up next with Scratches and Changes.
You got it. Just don't tell my wife. We'll see you.
My wife heard you.
Okay.